I think we good. I think we good. Let's get it started. Yeah, yeah. Man, appreciate y'all tapping in each and every Wednesday and Sunday at 10:30, 10. You know what I'm saying? We start when we start, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all tuning and tapping in each and every. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild, and this is Ken the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. And again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. We're gonna have a fire show tonight. If this is your first time tapping in, we talk about everything on this podcast. So again, what's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? And like I said, man, we're gonna have a great show tonight. And again, don't be an agent of chaos. Don't be a stain. Show love and stay engaged in the chat in a major way. Shout out to the chat already in the building. We got that loyal squad in the building. We got some day ones. We got badge holders. And I appreciate y'all again for tuning and tapping in, man. Uh, Oh, I'm seeing questions already in the chat. Like I'm seeing y'all already got your own motion in the chat. Like I love that. I love that. You know what I'm saying? I love that. Again, shout out to the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button hyphenated sign in the word snaps.com. That's the word button. That's hyphenated sign in the word snaps.com. Also, we're on the road to 20,000 subs. So continue to hit the like button, hit that share button. We a little over 11,000 subs. There's also membership portions available. Well, memberships are available. Portions of it is in the link on the bio. And different memberships do get granted different access. So again, thank y'all for supporting this show in a major way. Got over 500 rewatch videos of this podcast in different forms. So make sure y'all go and tap into those as well. Here we are, nice and live in color. Shout out to the chat, man. The chat, man. Yo, shout out to the loyal squad. Winter Breeze in the building. Shout out to Ebony. Big Ebony. Y'all told my first comment, second comment. That's funny. Shout out to Tremont in the building. You're Brooklyn in the building. Shout out to King. My dog's King. Thank you for the gifted. Appreciate that. Thank you. Who should be the next verses? That's a damn good question. I like that question. Who should be the next verses? Something that we haven't seen. I'm honestly, they should run that. They should run that. Well, they can't run No Limit and Cash Money back because we'll never see the full powers of both labels. Obviously, Wayne, he really don't want to do a versus with Cash Money. He rather do his by himself. And of course, No Limit didn't play a lot of their records. You know, a lot of their super huge records had Mystical on it because of Mystical current law issues and the type of issues that he's had. It may feel tone deaf for them to play his music or music with him in it, outside of make him say but damn, that's a damn good question. I'm gonna ponder on that for a quick second. That's a damn good question. Shout out to Shay in the building. Shay in the building. Appreciate you always, Shay. Uh, I missed a couple. Yeah. Okay, I see Shay. Shout out to Winter. Oh, okay. Y'all saying who should be? So I'm seeing Jay-Z versus Drake. Yeah, nah, that ain't gonna go well. I don't like that matchup. The reason why I don't like that matchup is because it's just too many. It's Drake got a lot of music. He has a lot of music, but do they sit with you like Jay-Z records do? And not to mention, Jay-Z has the type of songs that are battle ready. Drake would have to go to, like, do he has a Where I'm From? Do he have a Song Cry? Do he have Best of Both Worlds? It's a whole lot of ways Jay-Z could do this. So I don't like that matchup. Me personally. I mean, you can't put Drake with Jay-Z when you seen him lose to Kendrick. Like, automatically, Drake can't go with Jay. Mary J and Mariah. I like that. I actually like that. At first, I used to say there's nobody that could go with Mariah, which I still stand on. Not Mariah, with Mary. Nobody could go against Mary. And one of my boys was like, yo, but Mariah got records. And she does. She can go up with Mary because there's things that Mary have over her and there's things that Mariah has over her. Like, Mariah just got them next level vocals. She got the next level vocals. But Mary got songs. Mary got bops. Mary got jams. And mind you, it's the best 20 versus the 20. I don't think Mariah's 20 looks like Mary's 20. Bop for bop. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel that. But again, I would love to see that one. Shout out to Hazel in the building. Appreciate you. That's a good question. Nas versus Jay-Z. I don't know if I like that battle as well, but if anybody can go against Jay, it's definitely Nas. Nas do got records, but I think his 20, I don't know if they could go against the Jay's 20. I mean, it's close. It's close. Nas do got enough records. He got enough freestyles. But honestly, I think the world's seen their moment. I don't think that they would, you know, be a big intrigue with Jay-Z versus Nas in a versus. Wu-Tang versus NWA. I like that. I like that. Wu-Tang versus NWA in a versus. I like that. I like that. I mean, outside of Eazy-E, you know, everybody else is still here. And of course, when you have NWA, you're gonna bring up other artists anyway, so that will also be fire too. So, you know, so I like that. I like that Wu-Tang versus NWA, but I think Wu-Tang, respectfully, it's going to be a gentleman's sweep. If this was the NBA playoffs, it will be a gentleman's sweep. NWA versus Wu-Tang, you know, all due respect. Shout out to Paul in the building. We got Big Paul in the building, always showing love. One of our day ones, man. Shout out to Vic, another one of our day ones. I'm already started. My bad. Popeyes or church. Yo, Vic, man, you are stupid. He said Popeyes or church. Churches. You know what I'm saying? If you, I know you being funny, but I'm just gonna answer just because I want to answer. When I used to go to, you know, the little eateries and stuff like that, the little fast food, it's definitely Popeyes all day, you know. Shout out to Sabine in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. All right, man, hit them likes, hit the 100, Sabine. Shout out to Vic. We OG, not, let them know, man. You let them know, Vic, you know what I'm saying? And what's crazy, the person that's answering, I'm not even gonna get them no type of energy, no type of, just hit the likes in 100, Sabine. Shout out to Paul KRS-One versus Rakim. That would be epic. That's hip hop royalty. That's hip hop royalty. I love that one. I love that one. And that's a versus that if you are a hip hop artist, if you love hip hop, I don't care what era that you from. We have to make it normalized that if you don't know older artists, then you shouldn't be a part of the culture. Simple and plain. Like, it kills me that selectively we adapt certain things to our culture, keep certain things to our culture, and we get what we feel like is old. It's like the craziest thing to me. Like, how are you in the culture and you don't know the forefathers? That's like being into politics and you don't know who Malcolm X is or Martin Luther King is or Medgar Evers and all these other great people that came before you. In order to go somewhere, you have to know your past. So it kills me that we got all this hip hop greatness and we don't know our forefathers, or you don't know their music, or you don't, like, it just kills me. You don't know their story. You don't know nothing, which is crazy. So I would love to see that, me personally. I think that would be a masterclass of real rap. Vic, Prodigy, throw your hands up. Mary got hits. Yo, shout out to Quentin. That's a fact. Mary J got hits. See, most people sleep on Mary J Mary J got bops, and she got mega hits. And then she got records that she remade from other artists and she made it her own. And the song's actually better. I'd rather hear her version than the other artist version. So Mary J, is she kind of like a cheat code, to be honest with you. Um, Yellow Wolf in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. He said Nas, NWA. Too many Wu Tang members. Yo, Wu Tang do got mad members though. Wu Tang they got an official like 9 to 10. They always say 9, but they added, I believe, Master Ace later on. So I believe Master Ace made it 10. I believe Master Ace made it 10, but it's still 9 for real because Old Dirty done passed away. But even though there's a lot of members in Wu-Tang and the aura of Wu-Tang, and all of them are swordsmen. All of them are swordsmen, but some Wu-Tang members stand out more than others, and for different reasons. So it would still be a fire battle. So what, Wu-Tang got to take on the whole camp to get a part of the verses? Because remember, NWA, they got Cube, they got Dre, they got Yella, they got Ren. So you got 4 members that's still here. I know they're going to include some way or somehow Bone Thugs and Harmony, because Bone Thugs and Harmony was a part of that Priority Records package at that time. They could add the DOC. So I mean, NWA got more than a few people, in my opinion. Bro, you also talking shit that wasn't relevant 40 years. Shout out to 419 Heart in the building. All them groups trash. Yeah, see, again, I'm not even gonna like for real like respond to you. You sound stupid, dog. You sound stupid. You're here to be a stain. You're here to stand out by being negative. God bless you, my brother. God bless you. You sound crazy. Sound like a bot. Shout out to Macro in the building. Appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes, hit them 100. Shout out to Macro and Micro. Guess what? I did okay. Hit them likes, hit them 100. Shout out to Critical Rick, my dog Critical Rick. Ludacris makes the best chicken and beer. You stupid. Nah, Trick Daddy is the master of hip hop. You stupid. He's the master of hip hop barbecue. Shout out to Vic, Trick Love, Lynx, CeeLo, love all the food, Eats, Mary, love you. Have you ever heard a Brazilian rap? Nah, never heard of Brazilian rap. That's kind of interesting. That sounds kind of interesting. I'm not gonna hold you. Brazilian rap? That sounds interesting. Shout out to Down Syndrome. Yeah, it sounds like that's what you on. Brazilian rap is. You here to be negative, my brother. Chain only built for Cuban Link. Wu-Tang ain't nothing to F with. No Nintendo Portuguese. How much? Shout out to Anonymous. It's like the NWA. It's like saying that NWA is, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, on my watch, I won't have our legends be disrespected. Like, to think you could disrespect the legends and you want to be a part of the culture and you feel like you're a part of the culture, you're not really a part of the culture. You may not like some music, but to disrespect it is completely corny. Shout out to Sin Usa in the building. Appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes, hit them 100s. All right, y'all, let's get the show started. Y'all already know, first segment of the night, Popular Opinions. This segment's brought to you by OUV Records. As you see right here, the label model is create, document, and inspire. Make sure you go to Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. First, popular opinion question of the night. Number 1. Top least attractive accents. top least attractive accents. And this is all states based, okay? Number 1, New Jersey. Number 2, Boston. Number 3, New York. Number 4, Alabama. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, top least attractive accents. Number 1, New Jersey. Number 2, Boston. Number 3, New York. Number 4, Alabama. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And again, love it when you stay engaged. It helps us with the growth of the show. And again, we're on that road to 20,000 subs. So let's see what we got in chat. Shout out to DJ in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Again, hit them likes, hit them 100s, my brother. So already off the rip, I'm seeing Boston. Born and raised in Brooklyn, you know, we're kind of like bred to hate everything about Boston, right? But I have family in Massachusetts. I gotta keep it a bean. I've been there several times. Massachusetts have always showed me love from a music standpoint. But I will say this: out of all the accents on the list, when I spoke to women from Boston, the accent wasn't exactly like, yo, come here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, but of course, when a woman talks to you, regardless of whatever accent, it's always a vibe, right? But in that Boston accent, it was kind of like, I guess so. But out of all of them, I'm definitely going to say Boston. I'm definitely going with Boston. I'm seeing Boston all in the chat. Ebony, Boston accents are nasty. Patrick, what up, my dude? Patrick Torres in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Boston sucks. I already told y'all. New Yorkers don't play about that Boston Fenway Park. See, I told you, he'll play about that Boston. So in the chat, I'm seeing a whole lot of Boston. All I'm seeing is nothing but Boston. I went with Boston. The rest of the world at 42%, mind you, over 79,000 people voted on this, went with New Jersey. Wow, at 42%. The rest of the world went with New Jersey. Paul said Alabama. You ain't feeling that southern twang? I mean, New Jersey threw me off. I'm not gonna hold you. Again, that kind of threw me off, but 42% went with New Jersey, and again, over 79,000 people voted on this. That's kind of funny though. New Jersey do got a wild accent, but to me, the New Jersey accent is kind of like, it's not the same as New York, but it's definitely not the same as New York. But I don't know if I agree with that. I'm definitely going with Boston. If out of all these on this list, I'm still going with Boston, but 42% with New Jersey though. Alabama. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. I'm sorry, our next popular opinion question. Which one of these albums is the absolute best on this list? Which one of these albums is the absolute best on this list? Number 1, 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying. Number 2, Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. Number 3, Nas, When It Was Written. Number 4, DMX, It's Dark and Hell Is Hot. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, which one of these albums is the absolute best? Number 1, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. Number 2, Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. Number 3, Nas, It Was Written. Number 4, DMX, It's Dark and Hell Is Hot. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I love all these albums. All these albums is great. In my opinion, these are all classic albums. My favorite on this list, well, before I get to my absolute favorite, but I love Get Rich or Die Trying. I love Reasonable Doubt. I love When It Was Written, and I love It's Dark and Hell Is Hot. Love them all. I could listen to any of these albums tonight or tomorrow, next week, and listen to it from front to back, no skips, me personally. But if I had to say which album is the absolute best when it comes to the production, when it comes to message, when it comes to lyrics, when it comes to style, authenticity, the whole body of work in itself, and including them hits, I'm gonna have to go reasonable doubt. I'm gonna have to go reasonable doubt. For me, Get Rich or Die Trying comes in a close second. Close second. But the full body of work, and mind you, DMX, the way he performs and DMX catalog is crazy. But for that album in particular, which is a fire album from front to back, I like Get Rich or Die Trying more. It Was Written, another fire album. In my opinion, when it was written, is probably better than Illmatic. I prefer When It Was Written more than Illmatic. Hits and real bars. I prefer Get Rich or Die Trying even more than that one. And then when it comes to Get Rich or Die Trying versus Reasonable Doubt, I got Reasonable Doubt a little bit over Get Rich or Die Trying. Like, Get Rich or Die Trying is such a fire album. And I think maybe I wasn't expecting the body of work that Get Rich or Die Trying had. And mind you, it could have had even more hits, but 50 decided to give some of those songs to his other artists so that way they could shine and they could do their thing. So I got Reasonable Doubt for me. In the chat, I'm seeing in the chat, what y'all going with the chat? I got to go with 50. I saw 50 in the chat. I can't pick, they all good, but I will pick DMX. I'm seeing DMX. DMX is the main theme in the chat. It's the main theme in the chat. So I'm going to say the chat went with DMX. I'm going with Jay-Z. The rest of the world at 41%. Mind you, 125,000 people voted on this, y'all. Went with Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, again at 41%. Again, I picked that, but I'm not mad at that. All these albums is in the pantheon of great rap albums. These are next level rap albums. So there's no wrong answer on this. If somebody would look me in my face and literally say, yo, that DMX album is the best album on this list, I'm not arguing with you. Same thing with everybody else. Nas, 50 Cent, I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to argue that because they're all deserving of that title. All great albums, classic albums. Shout out to those artists. And you know what's crazy? We think these albums is great, but 20, 30 years from now, when the music still holds up, there's going to be people that's going to be like, yeah, they don't know who 50 Cent is, or they don't know Jay-Z's music, or they're going to say so many idiotic things about the music. And again, and I said it earlier, it's crazy how people are in cultures and don't know what came before them. I don't understand that. It's mind-boggling to me. I wasn't in the same era as Ray Charles, but I know who the hell Ray Charles is. I know with the songs that he sang. I'm not in the same era as Luther Vandross, but I know his songs. I know what type of music that he made. I'm not in the same era as Anita Baker, but I love her music. Is you kidding me? What? Like, I just don't understand the culture that we so disconnected that we don't know it. Like, that's crazy. Shout out to Fame in the build. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. I just subscribed to your channel. Real Recognize Real. I'm from East Oakland, but I live in Texas now. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. He said Mac Dre. Mac Dre is a legend, bro. Mac Dre is a legend, bro. Appreciate the comment. Appreciate the follow, man. Mac Dre is a legend. Rest in peace. Life after death was sick too. That's a fact. Talking about Biggie, that's a fact. That's a fact. And my personal favorite, Yeah Baby from Big Pun. That's another fire album. Shout out to Isaac in the building, bro. Bro, are you? Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Helps with the growth of the show. But that's a fact. Y'all had mentioned some legends. But yo, like for real, if you the older brother, if you the father, if you the uncle, if you the grandfather, at this point, we got grandfathers in hip hop. Teach the younger generation around you about the past. Teach them that. Teach them that. There's no reason why they shouldn't know that music, yo. When I grew up in the house, I knew all these songs because my mother made sure I knew this music. My father made sure I knew this music. I didn't grow up with DeBarge, but I know who DeBarge is. Some of the best vocalists you will ever hear as a group, as a family. It wasn't just the Jacksons. I know who the Temptation is. I know their music. So it doesn't it just kills me that we let all this greatness go by the wayside. We lost Mac Dre November 1st, 2004. It's been 21 years, the greatest rapper all time. This is my opinion. And that's what's great about the music, that is all preference based. At the end of the day, I won't argue that because that's who you rock with. When people say who they preference, yo, I can't argue with that. If you feel like this person is the best based on their body of work, I'm not gonna argue that. And I know you're not saying that, but I'm just saying, like in general sense, when most people say, well, I like this more than this, when people hear that, they trying to think they put it in the elk that you're calling what they like trash or something. Nah. It's just you like this more than that. And that's cool. That's cool. So, but shout out again, rest in peace to Mac Dre, man. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Hollywood Need to Ask Us. I came up with this segment because Hollywood don't give us enough interesting movies in Hollywood. They give us movies that, like, for example, Scream 7 is about to come out, bro. Like it looks good. It looks good, but it's the seventh installment. Like, that's all you got, Hollywood? That's all you got for your boy Ash? Is Scream 7. Okay, cool. And I hope it don't end up like I Know What You Did Last Summer, where they made like one of the original victims the new kid. Like, it was just stupid. So I hope they don't go that route with the Scream 7. The trailer looks good, by the way. But again, where's the new stories? Where's the new energy, right? Don't forget about the fat tone. Don't forget about Fat Tone. Oh, don't forget about Fat Tone. Shout out to Demo in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, man, my bro. Hit them likes, hit the 100s, man. Yeah, so again, I came up with this segment because I feel like I got better ideas for movies and a movie series. So my Hollywood Need to Ask Us, I would love to see, the culture needs this in music. This is a music thing that we need. We need a biopic on showing the greatness of this man on and off the stage, Michael McDonald. We need a biopic. If y'all thought biopics such as Bohemian Rhapsody, Ray Charles, NWA, there's several great biopics on artists. James Brown is very underrated. Love James Brown biopic. We need a Michael McDonald biopic in that elk. We need to see this man, how he was cooking up back in the 70s with the Doobie Brothers, and then when he went solo, and he just, again, his ability to sing, his wordplay, lyrics, and how them instruments hit every note that he's singing while he's singing it. We need a Michael McDonald biopic on and off the stage. And in this movie, I will, of course, make it rated R. We got to see the real now. I will make this rated R. I will have this directed by legendary actor Sean Penn. Sean Penn is also, he's dibbed and dabbled in directing. I would love for him to direct this movie. I would have as actors in this movie, my principal actors would be Nicolas Cage. I would have Nicolas Cage play Michael McDonald. I don't know if he can sing, but in biopics, that's not necessarily like a big deal because you could have Michael McDonald voice, you know, as he's performing in the movie. It's just pulling it off, right? So I think that works. I think Nicolas Cage got the look of Michael McDonald down pat. I would have Bradley Cooper, Miles Caton, Jeremy Piven, Ed Sheridan, Leon Thomas to play in this movie. And but y'all know Miles Caton best known for the movie Sinners, when he plays the cousin in Sinners. So that would be my foundation cast for this movie of Michael McDonald. I think this movie would absolutely be fire, and to educate the people on his music, because I love when verses is around and things that make us highlight and go back and listen to these older artists that was well deserved, right? A guy like Michael McDonald, and I've said this plenty of times before, in my opinion, for me, like how the brothers say, yo, Mac Dre is the best. Michael McDonald, for me, has top 5 music catalogs. For me, that's the catalog I like listening to the most. For me, my number 1 is R. Kelly. My number 2 is Michael Jackson. My number 3 is Michael McDonald. As far as music catalogs. And then under that, I probably have to say Mary J, Jay-Z, and Prince at my 6. As far as catalogs that I love. Not what y'all love, what I love. But Michael McDonald needs that biopic. So again, I would love to see this movie. I think this would absolutely be fire. The music education would be crazy. And people will have a different type of appreciation for Michael McDonald. So I would love to see that Michael McDonald movie. A shout out to the chat again. Shout out to, I believe that's Biggs. Messiah, I believe that's Big. Shout out to Biggs in the building. Shout out to DK in the building. True old school hip hop, the good 2000s and 1990s. Yeah, we had a lot of great music at that time when it came to hip hop. A lot of great music. But Michael McDonald, we need that biopic like yesterday. I think it would absolutely be fire. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. Y'all know I'm going to give y'all 3 must-see movies to tap in. You know it's going to be fire. This episode is no different. If it's your first time tapping in, 208th episode, I give these fire movies each and every episode. I'm going to give y'all 3 as I always do. Number 1, must-see movie. Came out 2001, directed by Sam Pillsbury. This movie stars Billy Zahn, Kelly McGillis, Henry Rollins, Johnny Glechik, and Roscoe Lee Brown. This movie is called Morgan's Ferry. Morgan's Ferry. Fire movie about 3 men that broke out of prison, and they ended up staying with the woman on her farm, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for you, so make sure you tap in to see Morgan's Ferry. Second must-see movie came out 2014. The chat, yeah, actually put me on to this movie, and I did watch it. Again, this movie came out in 2014, directed by Gerald Johnston. This movie stars Gerald Johnston, Morgana O'Reilly, Glenn Paul Warrow, Remy Tawada, Ryan Lamp, and Melanie Bayard. This movie is called House Bond. Movie is called House Bond. Fire must-see movie about a young lady that's into the criminal life. She ended up getting arrested and getting sentenced to being able to watch the rest of this movie. I won't spoil it for you. So make sure you tap in to see House Bond. House Bond. House Bound. A third and final must-see movie came out 1997, directed by John Patrick Kelly. This movie stars Vince Vaughn, Kate Capshaw, Ashley Judd, Paul Rudd, Jeremy Davies, Jessica Capshaw, and Jessica Robinson. This movie is called The Locust. This movie is bugged and wild. This movie is about a young man coming into a new town and getting acclimated to watching the rest of the movie. Again, I won't ruin it for you. So again, tap in to see The Locust. So my 3 must-see movies again is number 1, Morgan's Ferry. Number 2, House Bond. Number 3, The Locust. Make sure y'all tap into these movies. Again, fire must-see movies. And y'all can see these movies anywhere. I believe Tubi has these movies. YouTube has these movies. So make sure you tap into these movies. All right, y'all, moving on to our next one. You know, I'm going to give y'all a fire artist to listen to. Profile. I'm going to give y'all 3 songs to go tap into. Put these 3 songs on your playlist by this artist. Tonight's artist, and y'all know my motto, whether it's hip hop or R&B, whether it's new or old, I'm gonna give y'all some of that heat. So tonight artist is Bryson Tiller. Give y'all 3 songs off his new album. Y'all must tap into, put these 3 songs on y'all playlist. Number 1, Need Her. Number 2, Star Signs. Number 3, Burnout featuring Bun B. Fire, fire songs. So again, by the artist Bryson Tiller, put these 3 songs on your playlist. Number 1, I Need Her. Number 2, Star Signs. Number 3, Burnout featuring Bun B. Make sure y'all tap into those songs. A shout out to Ebony. I'ma watch all of those. I'm telling you, those are fire movies. Those are fire movies. And make sure you put these 3 songs on your playlist. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a fire book to tap into like I do each and every show. A must read. For those who are out there that into the music business, this is a book you need to have. The Plain and Simple Guide to Publishing. The Plain and Simple Guide to Publishing. This book is by Randall Waxon. Make sure you get this book. It's a great foundational book to have if you're in music and trying to understand the music business. There's a difference between the music game and the music business. It's learn the business, get paid from the business, and this is a great foundational and will take you to a better understanding in publishing. The Plain and Simple Guide to Publishing, again by Randall D. Waxon. So make sure y'all tap into that book. Hey sir, you doing? Thanks for button snaps. I appreciate you more than you know. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Maria, appreciate that for tapping in. We got Maria Rivera in the building. You already know. Don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. We appreciate you for tapping in. Thank you. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Y'all already know. It's send them to turkey or nah. Send them to turkey or nah. It's an inside joke on the show. When people say some stuff, do some stuff that's out of pocket, we send them to Turkey because Turkey got some of the craziest laws we've ever heard. So we type in T to send people to Turkey, or what they say or what they do to Turkey, or type in N not to send them to Turkey. What the feezy? Okay. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, so type in T or type in N to send them to Turkey. Type in T or type in N to send them to Turkey. All right, y'all. First one of the night. The Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, have proposed a trade with the Cleveland Browns for Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward. Myles Garrett, All-Star, All-Pro defensive end. Denzel Ward, Pro Bowl cornerback. In exchange for Tanner McKee, 2 first-rounders, and I believe Tanner McKee is the quarterback from a backup quarterback on the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken. 2 first-rounders, a 3rd-round pick, and a 5th-round pick. Are we sending the Eagles for trying to trade for Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Actually, the Eagles representative actually flew out to Cleveland to do it face-to-face. Will this go through? I don't know, but this is in the works right now, whether it is or it isn't, but they're at the facility. Shout out to Maria. You should stay in Cleveland. Yeah, me personally, I can't send them to Turkey. I can't send them to Turkey for wanting to better their team. If Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward goes to Philadelphia, that defense would be even better than what it is now. Their defense is already really good. That's a really good defense. That's a championship defense, as we saw. You add a guy like Myles Garrett on the front side, him being able to get to the quarterback. They won't even need to blitz. And you have a guy like Denzel Ward who can cover the way that he does with the rest of the guys on that Philadelphia Eagle team. Man, that's a recipe for another Super Bowl. So me personally, I can't send them to Turkey for wanting to try this. But if I'm the Cleveland Browns and if I'm trying to win, I don't like you got to do better than this on the trade. Like, if I'm giving you Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, I'm basically saying I'm restarting my franchise all over again. Cleveland is literally not that far away from being a real winning team. And I know some of y'all like, yo, Ash, you're bugging. No, I'm not. Their defense is really good. They had a really good draft this past year. Their first two rookies is balling. When it comes to Swinginger and Mason Graham, they're balling. Their defense is a championship style defense. They could get stops. It's the offensive side that they need to build, starting with the quarterback. The quarterback matters. They have to get themselves a quarterback. I believe they already have their quarterback, and they just won't give the young man a shot. Mind you, they still need to bolster that offensive line. You still need to bolster that receiving core, even though they have a good enough receiving core to win. Their running back core is really good as well. But it starts with the quarterback. And not for nothing, Dylan Gabriel hasn't shown anything that makes me feel that he's a franchise quarterback and you could build with that. Give Shador a shot. Dylan Gabriel's had 4 games to show improve, and he's looked worse each and every time, each and every game. So at the end of the day, if Cleveland is serious about winning, because they are an inept organization, they've been one of the worst organizations that we've seen. And we've seen, and this is why I say that all teams don't want to win. We've seen the Baltimore Ravens be birthed by Cleveland. People are like, what are you talking about? For those who don't know, Baltimore Ravens is the Cleveland Browns. That Cleveland Brown team moved to Baltimore. That ownership moved to Baltimore and changed the folks up, and you see how Baltimore Ravens do it. Why is Cleveland Browns still trash? Because they make trash decisions. If they trade Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward, it's letting the world know, and not just the guys in their locker room, that they don't want to win. So I don't think they should do the trade. I can't fault the Eagles for playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. So, and the Eagles has been one of the best organizations, well-ran organizations in the past 10 years. So I can't fault them for wanting to do this. I can't send them to Turkey regarding that. Shout out to Fame in the building. That would be a good move for Myles Garrett. Is Cleveland Browns offense back? Yeah, that the Cleveland Browns offense is terrible. What the F happened to? Shout out to y'all. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. Appreciate you for tapping in. So yeah, again, their offense is inept, but they have pieces. Quarterback is a very big piece that you have to fulfill. And if they think they're going to get a guy in the draft, guess what? There's no quarterback in college that's going to come in immediately and change it around. All the guys in college that are good, they need more development. Ty Simpson, I say he's a great prospect, but he still needs development. He's not a guy you draft and start day one. He needs development. And I got him at the top of the class. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if the if the Cleveland Browns are trying to win, they don't make this trade. That's idiotic. All right, y'all, moving on to our next one. Send them to Turkey or not. Send them to Turkey or not. Again, type in T to send them to Turkey. Type in N not to send them to Turkey. All right, y'all. Brick Lady, a.k.a. Rhonda Osman. She was sentenced. For those who don't know who she is, Brick Lady, it was a woman that was online. She went live and her face was like out to here. She said she was attacked. Come to find out that she was more of the agitator of the situation, and she lied about the situation, said that she was attacked and that there was other men around that didn't, step up for her honor, and she was just attacked. Come to find out that she was lying. She ended up starting a GoFundMe that ended up making over $42,000. People felt very sorry for her, but she was found guilty of wrongdoing. She has been sentenced to 90 days in jail. She also has to pay restitution of the $42,000 that she received through GoFundMe. Also, 10 years probation from social media. and 10 years probation in its entirety. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending her to Turkey or nah? Are we sending her to Turkey or not? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Uh, send her to Turkey. Shout out to Fame. I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, it's so easy now that everybody has a camera on their phone. They could turn their phone on, say whatever, get sympathy. And depending on who you are and how you pull it off, you can pull it off. To get about $42,000 on a GoFundMe, that's crazy. That means her video went super mega viral. But we have these videos that are so triggering that people are moved by emotion. They don't look to really analyze and put the pieces together. And when we did, we get this result. Come to find out she was lying. And she had a history of doing things like this in the past. And that was a part of why she was found guilty. And this is very unfortunate that people could, again, just get on the internet and say whatever and garner any type of energy. And it's so crazy on top of that, now that we have AI, me personally, I don't know I'll say 50% of the time whether something is AI or not. If I look at it real quick, if I don't pay attention to it, it could be AI. This situation was not AI. She ended up getting real money, $42,000 from the GoFundMe, which is a lot of money. $42,000 for most people could change their whole situation. Some people haven't made $42,000 in a few years. So this is the type of money, this is salary type of money. So, and she ended up getting caught for that. So I see y'all sending her to Turkey on that. She was capping the whole entire time on folk. Them grave sure. I shout out to what in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit the likes, hit the 100s. So it's unfortunate that this happened, and it's unfortunate that people do try to pull it. They try to play the sympathy card and try to pull it. She got caught, and now she has to pay her debt to society. So it's unfortunate, but I hate the narrative that it paint, especially in that moment when she was saying that basically, you know, the brothers, the culture in itself don't stand up for ourselves or don't stand up for each other. In my neighborhood, we don't play them games. Like in my neighborhood, we just don't let random women go without being protected. We just don't let that happen. And I know for a fact I'm not the only neighborhood that just let stuff like that rock. At bare minimal, we will break it up. If we don't know what the hell is going on, we're gonna at least break it up at the bare minimal. So to put that energy out there like women is not protected in our neighborhoods is completely false. It's completely false. Some people ain't touched 42,000 at one time. That is a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact, fam. That is, I keep saying fam. That is a fact. That is a fact. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. But I know for a fact that like my borough, my block is not the only area in the world that don't let stuff like that rock. At bare minimal, we're breaking it up, because when you roll up on a man and a woman going through this situation, you don't know why that man is spazzing out. Most men just don't wake up on the wrong side of the bed and just go up a woman's head. Nor does it make it valid. Nor does it make it valid. Like, I could get it, but nah, we can't do that, bro. At bare minimum, we breaking that up. So to paint that narrative that the women are not protected is a false narrative. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to wrap. This segment is officially brought to you by Button Snaps. Again, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, in the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, in the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night. Sean Grayson found guilty of the 2020 24 murder of Sonia Massey, the former Illinois sheriff, is looking at serving a minimal of 45 years to life. And again, he was found guilty. So this will be the perceived sentencing when this goes through, but he was already found guilty of these charges. So very oddly and interestingly enough, when this happened, and you've seen the victory that he felt by unaliving this woman that he tried to deem crazy based on what he was saying. And we see the footage, and based on his cam, he was trying to basically manipulate the situation, how he was saying, how he was maneuvering, thinking he was bigger than the program. And then when he gets outside with all of his other cop buddies, it was like a celebratory moment for him. And to let this go for the time that it was let go, and now we found him arrested behind bars and found guilty of this murder, because this was not a justifiable homicide. This was murder, planned, premeditated, already had that on his mind. And this man is now going to serve the time to do so. 45 years to life. Good riddance. I hope he lives every bit of that 45 years. I have a different mentality when it comes to people doing crime. And I know y'all probably think I'm crazy when I say this. I'm not necessarily a fan of the death penalty like that. I'm not really a fan of it like that. Reason being, the person that did the wrong, they don't get to live in that. If somebody goes on a murder spree and they unalive all these people, you're kind of bailing them out by taking them out. They don't have to face nothing. They don't have to really face their crimes for real. Okay, they go to court, they be deemed guilty, then what? We unalive them? They can't sit in that. I don't care if they live the full 40 years, the full 50 years, they need to live and feel every bit of that. That's me personally. That's how I feel. Like when I see movies, and again, and now we talking movies, now we're not even talking real life. Like when I see movies, I don't understand when people unalive somebody's family member, right? And then they go back to do that to that person. Okay, if this person made you feel away by unaliving their family member, if you do it to their family member, you're matching energy. If you take them out, they can't feel the pain. So I love the fact that he was found guilty and he's going to face every bit of that. And like I said, him seeing him on that tape in such a celebratory manner, and like, yo, it was disgusting. It was disgusting, and I'm glad that they stood on business in the state of Illinois. Shout out to fam in the building, Brooklyn, East Brooklyn. You already know what it is, man. Brooklyn all day, man. Flatbush all day. From born and raised Flatbush. Yes, lock him up and throw away the key. That is a fact. He won't make it out of there alive. Wait for people to see what he did. Yeah, when you have law enforcement, they're very protected. When you have law enforcement, they're very protected. They have their own tier that they're on, and for good reason. Because if they're in gen pop, it's nasty work. So these are, but I definitely get what you're saying, though. Definitely get what you're saying. But again, he should remain alive. He should be able to sit in that cell and do every bit of that time. Every bit of that. That's just me personally. That's my personal opinion. Instead of unaliving him, let him be the failure that he is. Let him have the shame. His name will forever be shamed. What Xerxes say in 300? I would wipe your names from the history books. I would body with the mere mentions of Sparta. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Xerxes was wilding out. Xerxes, he almost spazzed when he was like, "You don't want to join the crew? You ain't trying to bit the knee? What? Yo, I will wipe y'all off the face of the planet. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, huh?" So I'm of that ilk where it's like, yo, let them live in that dysfunction. Uh, shout out to Biggs and Knox. You already know Lennox in the building. You already know the crew. All right, so moving on to our next hot topic. Question. This might ruffle some feathers. At what age do you expect children to stop caring about their parents? That's the question. At what age do you expect your children to stop caring about their parents? Well, I should say, at what age do you expect your children to stop caring about you as a parent? Um, but I try to make it as general as possible. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, stay engaged in the chat with your answers. It helps with the growth of the show. I will put him on a main line with the Lions and Tigers. Yeah, I love that. 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 Love that. I love that. I like that. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. At what age do you expect your children to stop caring about you as parents? The reason why this question even came about, I'm seeing a growing presence on social media where you have like a lot of parents that come out and say, yo, I've gone non-contact from my children, or my children have gone non-contact from me because they feel like their energy is not really the same. Their parents don't, the parents is choosing their peace. The kids is choosing their peace. So I'm seeing a lot of that. A lot of grown kids. And I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about grown kids not calling parents to even check up on them, see how they doing, things of that nature. So again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to who's that? Oh, Little Berg in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, man. I think it's really cool how comfortable you are. Okay. Shout out to you, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. I try to take you serious with your comment, but you're a bot, bro. Come on, stop. So let me know again what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, at what age do you expect children to stop caring about their parents? A shout out to Ebony in the building. Most kids don't see value in their parents unless the parent is consistently doing for them. Whoa. Whoa. That is, wow, that's kind of, you're going to hit a lot of people with that statement right there. Hello, I'm from India. Shout out to India in the building. We got India in the building, man. Shout out to Rob's World in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, Rob's World. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Brooklyn. Brooklyn, born and raised. Born and raised. Shout out my dog Patrick. Did you see that documentary called The Perfect Neighborhood? No, I've never seen that. I've never even heard of that. The Perfect Neighborhood? I'm typing it up right now. I've never seen it, but I could watch it. And it's on Netflix, The Perfect Neighborhood. That's probably why, because I don't bangs with Netflix like that. But I could still watch it without having Netflix, though. I just got my ways, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you looking? Okay. I appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Pack tutorials. Where can we watch it? I think it's Paul. I think it's on Netflix because that's what popped up immediately when I typed it in. Shout out to my bro Biggs. It depends on their relationship with each other. Okay. Brooklyn is a house of Tupac, bro. Okay, shout out to Dan. Don't hit them likes, hit the 100s. I'm living in Moby. Shout out to Spider. We got dog Spider Monkey in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Appreciate you for tapping in. Again, the question is, and y'all been answering it, but the question is, at what age do you expect your children to stop caring about you as a parent or stop caring about parents overall, because I'm seeing a growing presence on social media where you have parents speaking out that their grown kids don't call them, don't text them, don't check on them, and they are deciding to return energy. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Bro, it stands on the grounds of the law in Florida. Shout out to Patrick. Um, yes, she's needed to go to life in prison. I mean, the way how I look at this, right? Some people say it depends on the relationship with the parents. I kind of disagree with that, only because we this era of parents or generation of parents, we not the first era of parents. So if you have children, grown children, who chose to go non-contact, you have to understand adults make decisions. As the era and the generation that came before the kids or the grown kids now, there was a lot of people in my era when they was in their early in their early adult life, chose to go non-contact with their parents. And the reason why I say it's not dependent on the relationship, because it doesn't matter. You could be there for your child. There's a difference between the lesson and what they receive from it. You could do all the things that you felt like your parents did not do, and you give them all the things that you feel like is important. But what's the lesson that they receive from it? Some of them, we have created a term, Nepo babies. We didn't have that term thrown around in my era or my generation. Well, we this is the same generation. We use that word wrong. But in my era, so all the people who are parents now, we didn't have people that came from money, came from privilege. But a lot of the people in my era worked so hard to provide for their children and to give them a life that they didn't receive, because their parents, even though as hard as they worked, they just didn't have the money to do it like that, right? So this era try to give their kids all the benefits that they never had. But a lot of the kids, because they get all the benefits, they don't understand the struggle. So they get negated from all that. So, and that also creates a sense of entitlement. So that's why I can't necessarily say the relationship, because even again, the older generation and the other era before us didn't really have great relationships with mom and pop like that neither. But there was a respect level. They still understood and knew to call. The generation before that didn't have the funds to basically help our parents or our uncles to fulfill their dreams and to move this thing forward. They didn't. But they still respect them enough to speak to them. Their parents, our grandparents or great grandparents, was also non-intentional. How can they be intentional when dad is at work all day, where mom is either at work or she's home, basically being a homemaker? Most of us didn't see our parents. You go to school every day, you see your parents at 8 in the morning maybe, and the next time you probably see them is 6, 7 at night. If especially if you come home by yourself, you feed yourself, you take you a shower, you go outside and play, and don't come back into the house till 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I think it's a cop out when we say, and I'm not pointing that comment in itself when we say it depends on the relationship, but at the end of the day, it's like we have to be very careful on giving excuses and keep people accountable, whether it's the adults and whether it's the children. We have to keep people accountable. So that's what I think regarding that. I don't think there's nothing you could do as a parent, whether it's good or bad, because again, I've seen some of my friends, people that I know, their parents wasn't there. Their parents had addiction. Their parents wasn't intentional, but them as their kid understood they understood their position as that child's as their child, and still felt like there was a respect due to call, check up on their parents, make sure that they're good, regardless of the fact. So that's also kind of like a cop out in my explanation. But I love the fact that that was one of the answers, because we have to mention that. So again, the question is, at what age do you expect your children to stop caring about you as a parent, or just about parents in general? And that's my take on that. It's irregardless to me. It's irregardless to me. And I stated why. So, but shout out to the chat, super engaged. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Spider Monkey, no age. Mom died at 2020. Sorry to hear that, my brother. I couldn't imagine not seeing her as a mom parent. Love that. Love that. Love that. Shout out to Fame. I keep saying fam. I talk to my parents every day because tomorrow ain't promised. When they're gone, it hurts because you can't call mom or dad. That is a fact. You see, I keep a picture of my parents over here. You see that they both gone. They passed away very close to each other, 2 years close to each other. So I know exactly what that means. You can't. And I want to say this, right? When you're a kid growing up, you trying to prove every bit to your parents how grown you are, how much you don't need them. But the older you get, you need your parents even more, because you realize going into the world, the world ain't gonna always love you, if they ever gonna love you. The two people that you feel like will always give you some sort of love, and that is dependent on a relationship, is mom and dad. I would like to think that my father was the only man on this planet that wanted me to do better than him. I would like to think that. I would believe that. I would believe my mother looks at me as if I can do wrong, because I do have a past. But I would like to believe that she always seen the better side of me. Before she passed away, and I said this on my podcast several times, she said that she was proud of me. The only thing she was worried about is when the devil speaks to my spirit, I listen. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the end of the day, I realize the older I get, I still need their guidance as far as just feeling like a sense of community. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got older homies, much older homies who are in their late 40s, mid 40s, 50s, mid 50s, and they still got their parents, and they still have their guidance and their love and their energy surrounding them. And I get it. It's like, yo, you need them even more as you get older. Because when you was younger, you was like, yo, I got to get out the house, baby. You know what I'm saying? I had my daughter way before I was supposed to, have my own place, all that type of stuff way before my time. And again, trying to show my parents, yo, I'm successful. I can do this. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? But the older I get, the more that I need them. So again, it kind of depends on the relationship, but it kind of don't, because I seen my parents still do for their parents, and their relationship wasn't the most intentional. You know what I'm saying? Because the roles was different back then. So, and it's not a diss to my grandparents on either side. It's just making a point. I still got both my parents. Shout out to family. I love that. Yeah, you had mentioned that. Spider Monkey. When my grandpa passed away, I thought it was the end of the world. That's a fact, man. See, when these people leave and you feel it, that's a part of your community. That's a part of your community. We all need the community. Like I have family members. I'm not going to make it specific, but I have family members that I choose not to be a part of their life, because it's just certain people that, they use family to give exception to disrespect. But I kind of told y'all I'm a little, you know, so I don't allow disrespect in my circle. I protect my energy at all costs. The only thing, the only problem with that is this: because I have a very matter of fact energy, respect, our kids suffer. Our kids don't have a relationship with each other. So they going around in this world not knowing that they got cousins and bloodlines, and that's the only thing that sucks about the disconnect with me and certain family members. So I definitely get that. But as parents, like, what do you do if you're in that situation where your child, your grown child, doesn't call? Do you call them or do you return energy? A lot of parents is returning energy. And I can't fault them for that either. It's kind of messed up, but because at the end of the day, they still your child. But when you're an adult, you have to have some sort of thing to answer for too. Again, my parents wasn't perfect. I wish that they were still here driving me crazy. But as a man, I had to speak up because they wouldn't have known, right? So as people, you have to speak up. As grown kids, you have to speak up. You can't have the excuse, well, I'm just a kid. No, you're an adult. You got to speak up if you want to speak up. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Okay, my computer froze for a second. Billionaire Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, has donated $38 million to Alabama State University, marking the largest single gift to a HBCU in its 158-year history. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Spider Monkey. I'm not too religious, but my mom always said, let the Bible guide you and through it. Let the Bible guide you through it all. I like that. 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 Yeah, like I said, we all got paths, right? We all got paths, right? But it's just certain things that honestly we could pray on. And I don't like saying I leave it to God because it forfeits my own accountability. But I will say this: all doors are not closed, especially if respect is attached. All doors is not closed if respect is attached to it. If you disrespect me, I can't finish that. I don't do well with disrespect. Not when somebody that know you get what I'm saying? When somebody knows you, they disrespect you. When somebody don't know you, oh, they being an idiot. They just saying stuff. You don't let them type of people get you out of your circle, right? Because that type of principle and that type of mentality will land you in jail. I stood on business, but I'm in jail because I stood on business. But when people know you, that's kind of different. You know what I mean? So, but that's why I say that. I won't say I'm going to leave it to God because it makes me feel like I'm not accountable for my own actions. But all doors is not closed, especially if respect is attached. So, but I can't do negative energy, jealousy. I can't do none of that. I can't do nothing for you, man. Can't do nothing for you, man. Shout out to Paul in the building. She wanted to piss him off by spending a lot of his money he didn't want to give up in the divorce. There could be some truth to that. There could definitely be some truth to that. Again, the hot topic is billionaire Jeff Bezos' ex-wife Mackenzie Scott has donated $38 million to Alabama State University, making it the largest single gift to an HBCU in its 158-year history. There could be some definite truth to that. The only thing I hate about generalized gifts and donations, right? Honestly, do we really feel it? Do we really see it in our neighborhoods that people are getting gifted even though they worked for their scholarships, even though that they had to earn their scholarships? Do we really feel it in our neighborhoods like that? Like all this money that was donated to the school, are we going to see an influx of enrollment that not only that their first year would get taken care of, but all 4 years, especially if they keep up a certain grade point average? And the only thing that they would have to be able to pay for is, their own food, students' own food of such, like at the vending machine, not the meal plan, but like little stuff like that. But when students have to pay for a dorm room or partial scholarship over here, partial this, then what's the use of the $38 million? What is it really going to? So I kind of hate these generalized big fat numbers that sound good, feel good, but we never see it really affect our neighborhood. So that's what I say. It could be some truth to that. There could be some truth to that. And the HBCU at that, on top of that, Alabama State is a very known HBCU. So I hope it does some real good. I really do, and I hope we see an impact in communities that struggle for students to generate money to go and get them a quality education. I hope that we really see that. Shout out to Sinar in the building, bro. Got charges. Appreciate you. Appreciate that. Hit the likes. Hit the 100s. Appreciate you for tapping in. Helps with the growth of the show. I had a shout out to fam. I had a smart mouth. I don't sugarcoat nothing. My family said, "You just like your grandfather. You just like your grandma." Yeah, grandma was outspoken. You know what I'm saying? Spoke up on the fam. You know what I mean? But that's also very real. People don't realize that our spirits wasn't here first. You know what I'm saying? Because I constantly feel it all the time. Like, I know my spirit was like borderline, like warrior king. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm old. Like, my mind is always on the warrior path. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just always on that path. And I always see and feel deja vus. Like, yeah, I've always been able to manifest deja vus ever since I was a kid, which is crazy. So our spirits have been here. Like, even my daughter, I feel like my mother's spirit went to my daughter. Like, when I look at my daughter, I see my mom and her energy, which is scary. So yeah. Now that's real. That's real. But again, with the Jeff Bezos ex-wife Mackenzie Scott, like I said, sounds good, sounds great. I just hope it affects our community in a very real way. And I hope they really go about changing the narrative of people getting educated from our communities. Because there's a whole bunch of kids with great grades but don't have the means and access to obtain these scholarships. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. A recent article in Vogue, and it's been the talk of the town over the weekend. There was an article called "Having a Boyfriend is Embarrassing." Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the article is called "Having a Boyfriend is Embarrassing," and this is by Vogue magazine. Let me know what y'all think in the chat regarding that article. I thought it was very interesting because it was like one of the major topics on social media throughout the weekend. And based on what people were saying and their own recollection, and a lot of the women speaking out on and against this, I want to say this. We have to get rid of these narratives, and we have to be careful where it comes from. Because Vogue magazine has been in our community for quite some time. Y'all know what I mean by our community. And now that we get more of the feminism type of mindset within these magazines, And I tell people these outlets have an agenda. They're not saying this to see the betterment and not even to be responsible for the things that they're saying for the betterment of our communities. Based on this article, you have people reading this, and some women is going to take from this that, yo, I don't need to find me a protector. I don't need to find someone who's going to basically be my mate, be my companion in this world, be my husband in this world. You need that. You can't scream that you're not protected and you don't find protection because you're choosing not to. A part of protection is also presence. A man's presence is needed. A wolf only really recognizes another wolf. Simple and plain. It's always been like that in the beginning of time. And to have this narrative only divides people even more. I say this each and every pod. We need each other. Men, we need women. Women, y'all need us. It's not a want, you need us. You can want this brother over here or you can want that brother over here. You do have a choice, but you need us. You have a choice on what type of brother you want in the sense of who you want to engage first or who you want to engage you first. But you need us, just like we need y'all. No babies get born without one or the other. Masculine needs feminine energy. Feminine energy needs masculine energy. I don't understand how something so simple has got so skewed through this time period, and I didn't see this in previous eras. It seemed like once COVID really happened for real, the feminist movement went into overdrive, and it feels like they won. It really feels like that. To create the notion that having a boyfriend is embarrassing is sickening. Because when you meet somebody, you don't jump into marriage. There's levels and stages. You're getting to know them, and they become you become your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other. Then it gets to fiance. Then it gets to marriage. Then y'all could be miserable and drive each other crazy for the rest of y'all. But you get the point that I'm making. We still need each other. This type of narrative goes and show back to, even though this is slightly different, you remember when East and West Coast was beefing when it came to the music? There was a major publication at the time known as Vibe Music that was keeping the East and West Coast beef going along and along for clicks, for, well, back then it wasn't clicks, but for magazine sales, to keep it interesting, because they was trying to pay their bills. They basically drug dealers. They gonna get this foolishness from somewhere. Why not us? We don't care. We don't live that life. We don't tell people to listen to this music and not that music. We don't tell people not to, even though we may say don't date this person, in our real life, we're not doing the shit. We good. We just trying to pay bills. We just trying to sell a product. And instead of understanding it from that perspective, people are really taking it on as a lifestyle, and it drives the culture further and further apart, making hookups more of a prevalent thing and not relationships. That's why we have such a hookup-based culture, because everything is a vibe. Everything is a vibe. Oh yeah, you a vibe. Everything is a vibe. Nothing feels foundational where you could really leave roots with somebody. You hear comedians all the time, they say before they do their specials, they have to do little clubs to build their hour up, then to do the special and give you a slamming ass special. It's the same thing in relationships. In order to get to that marriage, we got to do these little clubs. We got to get to learn each other. We got to really build. We have to have foundation with each other, so that way there's wings and tentacles to grow our relationship. If we don't have that, we have, again, a hookup culture that leads to nothingness. Hookup culture also, in 20 years, what is it going to be? 60-year-olds still at the club, going crazy? Nah, it don't work that way, right? So we have to understand the value in each other. And men, we know the value of what women hold. We know the value. Most of us know the value. And most of us that are of age, that have things going on, that got motion popping in there in our own life, we know the value. But understand this, ladies. Every man is different. You may be valued differently in this relationship with this man opposed to another man. But the value is still the same. You may be asked to have different roles depending on what that man already has going on. But your value is still your value. It's very high and it's necessary. It's very high and it's necessary. Don't overplay it though. Don't overplay it. Work with. Don't overplay it. We need each other. And this article is nothing but another, like, again, feminism is kicking ass, bro, because it's taking over the mindset of a lot of people and they adopting this as a lifestyle. A shout out to Paul, being a straight female. I absolutely agree. Women need men and vice versa. Love that, Paul. Love that. Thank you. And I know it's quite a few ladies in the chat, but thank you for that, Paul. Thank you. Old fashioned social events, culture. The magazine has later purchased in 1909 by Condé Nast, who explained its reach and influence. This article is embarrassing. There is way more love in our community than social media like to portray. Love that. Spider Monkey, for real. People don't really go to the club too much because it's too much drama in there. That's a fact. That's a fact. Spider Monkey, I don't want to turn gray and old alone. I've been very picky about who I enter in my life, and patience is a virtue. When you get to a certain age, patience has to be a virtue. Patience has to be a virtue at this stage of the game, and this is for people that have motion. When you don't have motion, doesn't mean that you don't deserve love. It's just you got to find somebody on your page. And a big part of it is that a lot of us is not realistic that your level, and I'm speaking in general terms, most people are not realistic on their level, not just from a financial level, right? But from a level of understanding, maturity, and mentality. There's demons that certain people are walking with, no matter how beautiful they may be. You can see the finest woman you've ever seen in your life. There's demons she's still fighting as a grown-ass woman. Same thing for women. It could be a dude that he's gorgeous to you, but there's demons he's still fighting that he's just not in a place in his life that he could grow with you. So we have to be very picky, and not just what a person look like, but where their mental state of mind is at and the healing that they've done for themselves. Because you can't save people. You can't save them. You can't change them neither. You can only have somebody be at the very best. What's the word that I'm looking for? It's the tip of my tongue, but I can't get this word out. But you could basically show somebody a way, expose. You could expose something or some things to people for their betterment, and not as a thing where you dig at them and have them exposed to certain things to help them be better for themselves. But we have to do a better job picking somebody on your level. You don't deserve somebody fine because you feel like you deserve somebody fine. Pick somebody on your level. It's cool. I live, born and raised in Brooklyn, but I live in Florida now. I've seen homeless people together on their same level. They on the same level, not just from a pocket standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, a survival standpoint. Picking somebody on your level is key. And that comes with, and that's more than finances added to that. But finances is also a key. I hate when people try to say, well, finances is not a big deal. It's always a big deal, always going to be a big deal because you need money to live. Money is tangible, even though it's not necessarily real, because the value of money changes, but it's tangible and you need it to live. And at this place in time, the value of money is not going to change tomorrow. So it matters. Shout out to the dog Spider Monkey, 3 years single, and it's been peaceful and groundbreaking. Yo, that was a powerful word, brother. Groundbreaking. You know what I'm saying? That's powerful, dog. Pause. You know what I mean? This live. Okay, shout out to you. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. Since it's so garbage, we're gonna hook you up with some tickets to the block party, 2 exclusive tickets. God bless, and have a good night to you, sir. You lucky I didn't play some music for you because I do got the block party song queued up. But yeah, so be very careful, people. And I hate this article because, again, it's going to give the perception that it creates more division instead of more unity within our culture. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Anticote High School varsity football team forfeited this week's game after the disturbing video started to circulate on social media that a football player or a player was hazed by the football team. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what you think about that in the chat. Shout out to Casey. Jesus loves you. He loves you too. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes. Hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Appreciate you. Yo. Okay. All right, y'all. So y'all know I'm a big believer of shame. I believe that shame and shaming has a place in our community to make people understand there's consequences to your actions. And shaming tactics is a tactic that still works, but it's a way of doing it. Hazing is a form of shame. But hazing, what a lot of players is not understanding, that hazing is supposed to help bring a team together. Is not necessarily supposed to diminish the person and make them feel less than. A part of hazing, again, when I played football, I played football throughout my childhood and into college, before I got into music. When I played football, there was hazing going on. There was teammates that, basically fought other teammates to see if the teammate was tough. And not fight the teammate to humiliate them, to make them feel less than. But we're playing a tough sport. So we need to know if you're going to be tough enough on this field, if you're going to have my back like how I'm going to have your back. And maybe it's a little bit of toxic, because also growing up in Brooklyn, I made a lot of my friends by fighting them first. We fought. Yo, you want to go play some basketball? And now we was cool. So hazing used to be like a form of like team bonding, and not trying to diminish the other person and not trying to make the person feel less than. It was supposed to be a form of ritual that brought the team together. What had nothing associated to any type of SA behaviors or a humiliation tactic. It was really meant to bring the team together. But for generations now, I keep saying generations, for decades and eras now, it has turned into something else. But it's unfortunate. They are facing the penalties of this hazing practice. The video itself showed the kid in a very compromising situation physically. It didn't look like an SA situation, but more so from a fighting standpoint. and they've been punished for this. But I'm still a big believer in a form of shame, in a form of hazing, but it's a way to do it that builds the team and have team camaraderie, and not in this aspect of it. This is a bit too far. Shout out to Omni in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. Appreciate you for tapping in. Fam in the building. I'm from East Oakland. Used to see how tough. We used to see how tough you was. You are right. Facts. I mean, again, from a lot of our neighborhoods, which were rough neighborhoods, these were tactics, because you couldn't be raised in a rough neighborhood and be soft. And soft people got ran over. At least when you're strong enough to defend yourself and defend the people around you, people respect that and won't try you. If people know you're going to fight back, they won't try you. Simple and plain. And if you have a fight where you put in your best and they're putting their best and you lose, it's not about losing. It's about that person knowing that you're going to fight. And it matters. Shout out to Maria in the building. Have a blessed sending prayers you and your way to your family, buying merch soon. Appreciate that, Maria. Appreciate you tapping in. Gotta buy a hat for Dad and put it on his grave. I would love that. I would love that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. That would mean a lot. Thank you, Maria. Hit them likes, hit the 100, y'all. But again, appreciate that, Maria. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. OnlyFans CEO reveals that most of the platform revenue comes from Americans, say that they paid out over $25 billion to creators since 2016. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, OnlyFans CEO reveals that the platform revenue comes from Americans, and says that they pay. I'm sorry, OnlyFans CEO reveals that the platform revenue comes from Americans, say that it paid over $25 billion to creators since 2016. Let me know what I think about that in the chat. Oh, what up from Toronto? We got Toronto in the building, man. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s, Toronto. And that's Troll. Appreciate you for tapping in, man. Shout out to the 6 foot. Yes, you can see it's called Shattered Life, sir. Sheltered Life, sir. That's a fact. Okay. Appreciate that. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, OnlyFans, it only exists because the space and place that we live in today doesn't have enough opportunities. The way the government is setting up itself is making people, or trying to make people, be dependent on the government. What would change the economy tomorrow? If the government gave grants to small businesses all across the world, that would change the economy. Small businesses directly affect your community, not big chains. Big chains get to hire you for cheap and make you work for long hours. That doesn't change the economy, because that's the working poor. They're working and don't make enough money to pay their rent, don't make enough money to pay their car note, and so on and so forth. So we have a government, as of right now, playing how it's playing right now. They're setting it up where we're dependent on them, opposed to having our own motion. That will be the true uptick in the economy. If you want the economy to come down, then we have to have home-built businesses. You want food to come down, then we need more farms that produce more foods. If you want gas to come down, then we need to have more petroleum places to have gas, where gas will come down, and so on. Yes, so y'all see where I'm going with this. You want housing to come down, the price of a brick to come down. We need more brick companies, concrete companies within our own states. That's how this thing moves. And we have a whole bunch of people out here with all different type of skills and all different type of areas and things that will help our economy tomorrow. But our government haven't empowered these people by helping them with grants. You say you want a grant. You look up a grant right now, they're going to direct you to a loan. I'm looking for a business grant. It's going to take you to a business loan. Something you don't need to pay back. You just need the grant. And the grant in itself will directly affect your business and the economy and the community around you. So the way I see it, OnlyFans in itself, when you look at this, people are choosing to go up on OnlyFans, sex themselves all up, whether they go on oil their feet, fingers and hands, their body, whatever is going on. That's a way of making their money. I've heard outlandish numbers on OnlyFans. I've heard people making $42,000 a week. Crazy. I've heard people make damn near $1 million in a month on OnlyFans. Some woman, I don't even know her name, but she says she made over $5 million on OnlyFans in 2 months, which is crazy. And kudos to her, because if she put her body on there, at least she gonna make the money from it. 5 million is not chicken change. So I mean, at the end of the day, OnlyFans and places like that, people are taking these type of chances only because limited options. It's not because they don't have skill. It's not because they're not motivated. It's because there's limited options. You're seeing all these fundings is being cut off. You're seeing a whole bunch of people that love their job about to lose their job, being laid off by this company, that company. And by the time those jobs come back around, you're going to be down and out, and you're going to take whatever that's there. We've seen this play time and time again before. So that's what I think about this OnlyFans thing, where the CEO again had made mention that their platform revenue comes from Americans. The lack of opportunity. And that they paid over $25 billion to creators since 2016. So I'm not surprised at that at all. I'm a registered nurse as well. Our only show made $4,300 in 1 month. So you show feed pic, and I wasn't saying that directing it at you. I was just saying it as a general for feed pics and shoulder pics and stuff like that. I love to make extra money the legal way. I mean, at the end of the day, and I don't want to make this like nasty, but there's people that sell farts. People sell farts. People sell crap as well too. Stool. There's a market for all types of stuff. But again, most people, even though some people are making the extra money, nobody wakes up one day and say they want to have a career in this. Nobody says that. And it's lack of opportunity. And if people can make and subsidize this type of income from somewhere else, they would. So, but yeah, and that's just a general statement. That's not at anybody in particular. Shout out to Troll. Do you feel like some of these people would be going for the grants if they were there? Absolutely. Absolutely. If grants was really like, they have this thing called SBA, if I'm not mistaken, they have SBA grants. You can see it if you type in SBA grants, you can see it. But there's no real direct, proper protocol for filling the paperwork out based on your business space and to get a real response from this company based on criteria. Because there's no real criteria that people could put on there to say, well, this is what my business have done, or this is the planned business that I have proposed. There's no real criteria. And most people don't even know where to send it. And they're going to direct you. They're like, well, since you're struggling with getting this grant loan done, the application loan, we're going to send you to, we're going to send you to getting a loan opposed to a grant. So shout out to Brazil in the building. We got Brazil in the building. Appreciate you. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Helps with the growth of the show. If it's your first time tapping in, again, I am Ashley Lovechild, and it's the Ken and Brothers Get a Rap podcast, episode 208. Shout out to Tron in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. All money ain't good money. Don't lose your self-respect for no money. What they say in Players Club, make the money, but don't let the money make you. Nelly, appreciate you for tapping in. Spread the word. Build the... Appreciate that, Nelly. Appreciate that. You're talking about Bill Nye the Science Guy. If you talk about Bill Nye the Science Guy, you got at least be 50. You said Bill Nye the Science Guy. Haven't heard that name in years. Got Brazil in the building. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. A viral question. This is a viral question. Also went super viral over the weekend. Fellas, if your woman asked you, would you punch her in the face for $1 billion? Would you do it? This was a viral question that went crazy over the weekend as well. It was like top 3. It was that damn article, and this was at number 3. Ladies, would you let your man punch you in the face? Not beat you up, punch you in the face for $1 billion. There's a whole lot of intrigue to this question. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Troll. That's true. Think Canada is a little better for grants, but a lot of people don't know how to access or go about it. That's a fact, Troll. That's a fact. And that's all it is. It's the application process that most people are having a real problem with, especially people with established businesses. And we have all these misnomers on social media. Oh, all you got to do is go get you an EIN number. You can open up a bank account. Then you can open up a business. You need something called business. You can establish an EIN number with a BS business. Yes, you can. But you have to have business records to show a starting point. You do. If you go to your banking, you could easily open a business account through your personal account. That doesn't require an EIN number, right? So these are, again, these misnomer information that they sent to us and put into the public eye, and it leads people to a bad space and a bad road, and it's a waste of time and energy. Troll was like, yo, he knocking her out. You stupid. He's knocking her out. I would ask him which way he wanted to. I would ask him which way he wanted me to turn my head. Maria, million or billion? Million or billion? So for $1 million or billion, it's cool. It's cool for $1 million or billion. That's cool. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm not big on hitting women. I ain't for that. You know what I'm saying? For $1 billion though? For $1 billion? Like, I'm not gonna beat you up, but I just gotta rock you? I'm saying, it's $1 billion. Like, well, like, you know what I'm saying? It's $1 billion. Like, I'm saying, like, I'm gonna do it with my left hand. I'm gonna do it with the off hand. I'm gonna do it with the left. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna Mike Tyson you, like, cause I fold grown men, fully grown men. So I ain't gonna do that to you. So I'm gonna left that. I'm gonna left that on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get you with this left. I'm gonna get you up out of here real clean. It's gonna be real clean though, real clean, smooth. I won't Mike Tyson you, but smooth. It's a Billy though. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. You know what they? It's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. This ain't real life, so I can play along. What's the first thing you'll buy with $1 billion? Knock me out, please. Let's go shop. Let's go spend this money. I want I want my cut. Uh, but we need a movie like that where I'm gonna say that for the next episode. What my movie gonna be? Another movie for what's it gonna be? But like for real though, like for real, because we had this type of question all the time, but this went crazy. Specifically, in particular, I'm struggling on that word tonight. In particular, women was asking their boyfriends would they do it. So if I had a woman and this was real, yes, smooth, smooth, real quick, real smooth, and it's gonna be cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit you off with I'm gonna hit you off with your cut. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be cool. It's $1 billion. So whoever that would be, if this was real, she'll be alright. You know what I'm saying? People get punched in the face every day. B, you tough, right? All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. College football picks is in. NFL picks is in. My pick six is in for this episode. So, first game I called, college football edition. Number 9 versus number 20, Texas. I said that Texas would win this game, and they did. They won 34-31. Great game. Could have went either way. Vandy could have won this game, but Texas won. Next game I called, Penn State versus Ohio State. I went with Ohio State. They won 38-14. Penn State is just such disarray right now, and Ohio State has been the class of college football. The only game they're going to lose this year is to my Michigan. So, 3 years, 4 years? I think it's 5 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's a whole class of Ohio State guys that never understood what it means to beat a Michigan team. So, just putting that out there. Chuckles. And mind you, those other teams were like number 1, number 2. You know what I'm saying? They had a whole bunch of draft picks and stuff like that, just for chuckles, And then we also had the rule change that we can't plant flags. I'm being petty. All right, so I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, next game I called, number 13, Texas Tech versus Kansas State. I said Texas Tech will win this game. They did, 43-20. Next game I called was Cincinnati, number 17, Cincinnati versus number 24, Utah. I said Cincinnati will win this game. This was a very good game, but Cincinnati lost big time, 45-14 in the upset. Utah looked really good in this game. Number 15, Virginia played California. I said California were upset. California had this team at home. California quarterback is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in college football in the coming years. He could spin it. The boy can throw. But you might see this young man in the transfer portal because he's a really good quarterback. Seriously, this kid on California. But they lost. They almost came back and won this game 31-21. Last game I called was number 18, Oklahoma versus number 14, Tennessee. I said Tennessee will win this game at home. They lost last minute touchdown 33-27 to Oklahoma. So that's my pick six for this week of college football. The NFL, first game I called, Ravens versus Dolphins. I said the Dolphins will win this game. They lost 28-6. People are like, why the hell would you pick the Dolphins? Because it was Lamar Jackson first game back. I thought he would be rusty and dusty, and he wasn't. And the Dolphins just have a way of winning games they're not supposed to win. They put up points, but they're not consistent, and they lost. And Baltimore defense haven't been great all year long. So, but they still lost. Ravens won 28-6. Next game I'll call Chargers versus the Titans. Chargers won 27-20. Vikings versus Lions. I said the Lions will win this game. The Vikings came back and won 27-24. A true upset. Next game I'll call Falcons versus the Patriots. I said the Patriots will win this game. They did. 24-23. Very tight game. Game went either way. I just don't believe in the Falcons. I say it every other episode. The Falcons not winning the Super Bowl. I really believe that. and it's by Ashley Lovechild. Yes, I do believe that. Yes. They just very inconsistent. Anytime I believe in the Falcons, they just prove that they inconsistent. Next game I called Saints versus the Rams. I said the Rams will win this game. They did 34-10 in very convincing fashion. Last game I called was Jaguars versus the Raiders. I said the Jaguars will win. They did 30-28. So for NFL, my pick six, I went 5-1 this past week. So make sure y'all tap in for future picks. Again, if you're looking for a parlay, money line, or you're just looking for a little action to have a little fun, tap into my picks. I have some good picks. Make sure y'all tap in. Shout out to Maria. My Hurricanes lost. They had no business losing. Hurricanes made me mad this week. They have such a good team, but they so undisciplined. They undisciplined. They have a good team. They easily could have been in the college football playoffs this year. And their defense is legit. But they pick and choose when they're going to show up. Miami had no business losing. Patrick Torres told you Oklahoma wasn't losing 2 games in a row. You was right, but it was a struggle game. In Titans, Tennessee University, I just didn't think that they would lose this game. They just looked like the better team moving forward. And I don't believe in Mateer or Oklahoma. He's very inconsistent, wildly inconsistent. One week he looks like a Heisman Trophy winner, not even a candidate. He looks like a Heisman Trophy winner some weeks, and the other week it's like, what are you doing on the field, sir? So that's why I went against them. Time, appreciate you in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Ashley and chat, family, respect and blessings. Stay consistent and healthy. Appreciate that, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s, man. Appreciate that. That's big time. That's a lot of class. Thank you. Fam, Raiders, Pats, Panthers, Buffalo, and 49ers. Yeah, my Buffalo beat my team. Buffalo beat my team. And y'all see my team in the back. We had no business losing to Buffalo tonight. We had no business losing to Buffalo. Had no business losing. We're not going to lose to them in the playoffs. We always lose in the season to Buffalo. It gives Buffalo some hope. And then when they play us in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? It just hit different. You know what I'm saying? Why isn't nobody talking about the Kansas City Chiefs? Because week to week, we've gotten better and better, but there's no more like it's no more wow. When you've been great for a period of time, it's hard to make people go wow. You know what I mean? So we just a consistent franchise at this point in time. Like, we've been terrible for a long time, but at this point in time, in this era, we've been super consistent. And we getting better week by week. Even though we lost today, we're getting better week by week. Nobody's going to care about this loss when we do well in the playoffs. But we're a scary team. We're still a scary team. Kansas City was just everybody's sports media about them going to the Super Bowl. And how about Patrick Mahomes looked like the MVP. Okay, the Bills are not the Washington Redskins or the Raiders. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Bills is a good team, but they can't beat us in big games. They haven't beat us in big games. So, and it doesn't matter. Nobody remembers season wins. Like, in all the years that Kansas City lost, all the years that Kansas City won in the Super Bowl, we've lost to Buffalo in those same regular season. So it's like, would you rather have a season win or a playoff win, right? So my Raiders should have kicked the extra point. We tied with Jacksonville. KC Chiefs is in my division. Yeah, I know. We're rivals. We need to get back against KC Raiders Nation. Why you block me, my son? Spider Monkey. Why was I blocked? If you was blocked, you probably said something crazy. If you didn't say something crazy, then you was blocked accidentally. So if you didn't say anything crazy, I sincerely apologize if you didn't say anything crazy. Casey is my ceiling. I believe Travis Kelsey is the engine that makes that team go. And if he's not playing Travis football, KC is in trouble. I want to say be good teams. Uh, yes and no. Yes, so it's just we're used to playing through Travis because he's in the past he's always been open. Raiders are just a lost franchise right now. They suck. I didn't. Okay, so if you didn't say anything negative, I sincerely mean it. I apologize if you didn't say anything negative. I really do. I really do. I could have hit your profile by accident. So again, I apologize. Ashley, Kansas City is the king of the AFC, and how I'm looking at the AFC now, there is no team right now I believe that can be anybody over there but KC, Chiefs, even the Pats. I got blocked earlier too. Pat, you didn't get blocked earlier, Patrick. You didn't get blocked. I didn't block you, Patrick. No way. If like I said, if I blocked you, Patrick, for real, then that was by accident, brother. You know I won't block you. Your comment was deleted. Then yeah, so that was accidental. I definitely probably hit the wrong profile. So again, I apologize for that. Like again, y'all, I don't make that mistake often, but for the regulars, y'all know we get them trolls in here saying all types of stuff. So sometimes I could go to press the profile and the thing go up, and I probably hit somebody accidentally. So I apologize for that if I did. Okay. But yeah, to answer the NFL questions, we look good, but I'm not complacent about it. We as our Kansas City as the Kansas City Chiefs, we can't feel like we got it. We got to show up and show out each and every week. We got to stop the run. We got to play defense. Patrick Mahomes got to do his things. The receivers got to get open, and we have to have a running game with that as well. We have to play our best. If we play our best, we could stand at the end. We could stand at the end. We can't get so complacent that we had all this success that we can't just be like just lean on our morals. Now we got to show up, show out. We got to show up and show out. And as far as our division is concerned, the Broncos is very tough. I'm worried about the Broncos. They look good every week because they can generate the pass rush with just 4 guys. As far as the Chargers, they're pretenders. Chargers is pretenders. They don't play well in big games at all. As far as the Raiders, man, they are an obtusely lost franchise. And I say this all the time. The NFL is not based on talent. People like, come on, Ash. It's not. Because if it was based on talent, you would have talent-based picks. But they don't pick all the guys based on talent. Oh, or this guy got in trouble. Or this guy, we like this guy a little bit more because of his demeanor, even though he runs a 4.7 and he's out of shape and he plays running back instead of getting this guy over here that runs a 4.3 who's in great shape, and he only played 1 year in college, so he has a lot of health ahead of him, but you pick a guy that's not as good. So it's like they don't pick guys based off talent. And the Raiders, as an organization, yeah, I've had a lot of character misses. I'm not. The Raiders, they try, but it's a lot of character issues with y'all organization. I will say that a lot of guys that you have drafted was more so character issues than talent issues. So they definitely a lost franchise. Y'all need a quarterback like yesterday. With Casey, okay, I was about to read that comment. I thought it was YouTube thing, no problem. I love KC. Running backs, that guy Pacheco, I believe that, how you say his name, I don't believe they run enough. Pacheco, he's off and on. When he's on, he's really good. That's why we bought. That's why we bought Kareem Hunt. We should never let Kareem Hunt go in the first place. We missed some of his prime, but things happen. Um, but there's some great players. There's some great players. But he's off and on. Pacheco, when he's on, we're always gonna win when Pacheco's on. Was Casey a fan before Patrick Mahomes? Yes. Yes, I was born KC fan. Born KC fan. Yes. Yeah, I probably don't remember this thing I'm about to say, but Lorenzen Neal, Marcus Allen. Yeah, I know y'all have to know who Joe Montana is. And Derek Thomas. Derek Thomas, outside of Lawrence Taylor, was my favorite player. Well, outside of Lawrence Taylor was the first player that made me even like really love football. Then Derek Thomas. Then Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is my guy. My guy. But Derek Thomas, just from a Chief standpoint, Derek Thomas is my guy. My guy. Rest in peace to Derek Thomas. And I was hyped when we finally got Joe Montana because we had Joe Montana, Marcus Allen in the backfield, you know what I'm saying? And then if you realize, KC, we always had talented players, but our team's always been like real mixy. You know what I mean? Like we've had some real talented guys, you know, some spectacular guys. Larry Johnson, Dante Hall, my dog Priest Holmes. You know what I'm saying? Like we've had some special dudes in our franchise, but we never was able to have a quarterback outside of Joe Montana that was a guy that we could depend on year in, year out. Alex Smith was a good player, but he's not a championship guy. Pacheco was out today, hurt. Derek Thomas got the most sacks. And Derek Thomas was different. Shout out to Vic in the building. I know the Marcus Allen name and Joe Montana. You know Marcus Allen name probably because of the Kardashians. He was... You just got to look it up, you know what I'm saying? Him and the Juice, you know what I'm saying? They was like Heisman Trophy winners on the same team at USC. And they was linked to the Kardashians, you know what I'm saying? That's probably where you heard that name from, Paul. Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare. Yes, absolutely. He was so scary until Atwaters put him on his back. Like all his mojo left. Marcus Allen, Joe Montana, yeah. Gonzalez, yes, one of the best tight ends ever in the game. Tony Gonzalez, that's a fact. I said this to my boys, and they didn't think about it till I said it. At this point, like for real, out of all the teams in the NFL, we probably had the best running backs ever in the NFL as a collection. Throughout time, we've always had a fire running back. Marcus Allen, Larry Johnson. I don't know if y'all remember how nice Larry Johnson was. Priest Holmes, my boy from Texas. Was Jamal Charles, killing. You know what I'm saying? Pacheco now. Kareem Hunt was super nice in his first stint. So yeah, Timbiaka Batuka. Yeah, he was more so with the Panthers. Known Raiders. Christian Okoye was a beast. That's a fact. So y'all know about the Nigerian Nightmare. Yeah, see, you said all the names I'm talking about. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I'm a Raider fan now. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's cool to jump ship if you want to jump ship, y'all. A lot of these franchises is not in the business of winning. So if you want to jump ship and you realize that some of these franchises could A, be racist, and 2, they don't got no interest in winning. They just want to get y'all money. Yo, jump ship, yo. Jump ship. Jump ship. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Shout out Facts. KC always had good running backs. Yeah, we've had some special running backs. So I when I said that, my boy was like, nah. And then when I start saying the names, then it was like, I. And then I said Christian Okoye. Then it was like, I. Even though he was more so a fullback, but they used him as a back. They was like, now I get what you're saying, because when you think of other teams, they had like one good back. They didn't have several. You know what I'm saying? So no disrespect to the Raiders fans. Of any fans should not be like Cleveland Browns. They shouldn't even be like Atlanta. The Raiders should be an elite team. That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm not a bandwagon fan. I'm a real Oakland Raider fan. I love that. I love that. Ain't nothing wrong with being fans, bro. It's just, yo, people use sports as to brag, as an escape. You want to have some fun with sports, and you hate when your team is always garbage. Just garbage. Like, it's not fun. You know what I'm saying? It's not fun. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our Keep the Lie Alive segment. So my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode is companion versus companionship. Companion versus companionship. We spoke about earlier about the Vogue article that women should be embarrassed on having boyfriends, or having a boyfriend is embarrassing. That was the Vogue article that we spoke about earlier, which was very divisive and is counterproductive to the culture, because as men, we need women, and women, y'all need us. But let's unpack it just a little bit further real quickly and land the plane. You're seeing men choosing peace. And when they say choosing peace, meaning not choosing to put ourselves in situations that is a waste of time, when the same results is being had based on the same methods. So most men ideology as a man, if I don't chase, my rationale is I'm going to get a different result. Some women are of the understanding that having a boyfriend is embarrassing, which again is divisive, and it doesn't help the culture move this thing forward, because we need each other. But based on that premise alone, as men, we understand if we can't get companionship, which we do want and which we rather have, if we can't get companionship and have peace within our companionship, most men will rather pay the price for a companion, because we're paying the price for companionship anyway, regardless of how you slice it. Companionship and having a companion will always cost. Having a companion for the moment is monetary peace, in the sense of I don't have to deal with you. I get what I need, you get what you need, and you go. And that's in anything, whether it's sex, whether it's food, whether it's working out, whether it's just going to the movies. Having companionship, men always have to pay for it, regardless if they want to, or we want to, or we want to admit it or not. We're still paying. It's either you pay on the high end or the low end. Also, what goes into companion versus companionship is that we've seen other men opt for companionship, and their foundation was trying to be the best by being based on God, by being based on family, by being based on doing everything that it takes as a man to move the family forward. But on the flip side of that, if it doesn't work out, based on how the business of family operates when the family separates, is that the man loses out. He loses his resources. He loses money. He loses his land. He has to share land. He has to share cars. And in some situations, that person didn't even have access to any of this until you introduce them to your lifestyle, or whatever the case may be. So you're seeing a lot of men view companion over companionship as something that's beneficial to us as men, because we want to have a good time, but we don't want to have to pay the price if things go left, because it doesn't go in our favor majority of the time. Hence the reason why having a boyfriend is embarrassing to that Vogue argument is even more detrimental to the culture because it doesn't help us move this thing forward. So at the end of the day, we're seeing men opt for a companion over companionship because we view the peace. We see the value in keeping our own things and not cutting our nose despite our face. So that's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode, companion versus companionship. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Eli Manning is not a Hall of Fame football player, but Tom Brady will get him in the Hall of Fame because it completes Tom Brady's story. Plus, he's a Manning. I agree, but you can't take away that Eli got those 2 rings, bro. Stephen Y.N. Smith. And I've seen my Giants win 4 Super Bowls. Patrick Torres. Well, I'm gonna mention on the football aspect of it. Unpopular opinion by me, because y'all know me. I'm gonna give my opinion whether people agree on it or not. It's not for people to agree for real. I'm gonna say what I need to say because it needs to be said. But Eli Manning is not a Hall of Fame. I agree with that wholeheartedly. If you take away the 2 Super Bowls in itself, even though you can't take away the 2 Super Bowls because he did that. His playoff run both times was crazy. First one was way better. But outside the 2 Super Bowls, Eli's been god awful. God awful. He's been god awful. He's always been top 3 in interceptions each and every year in 15 years he played in the NFL. He's been god awful. God awful. 2 Super Bowl wins should not get you into the Hall of Fame. I just find it hard to believe that he could sit at the same table as his brother. And it's not a brother thing. It's just that the fact that his brother Peyton is a Hall of Famer based on his criteria, based on the things that he did in the league. So I don't see Eli as a Hall of Famer. More likely he probably will end up in a Hall of Fame, but he's not a Hall of Famer to me. He's not. But Super Bowls do matter. But Super Bowls also should be viewed case by case. Because if you're a Super Bowl champion and you're led by your defense and you made the right plays and you had a good couple of games, that shouldn't be worthy of no damn Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer is not a Hall of Famer. He wasn't terrible, but he's not a Hall of Famer. And that team was led by that defense. So Super Bowls really should be based case by case. If you got Super Bowls and you're Patrick Mahomes, Joe Montana, John Elway, Aaron Rodgers, those conversations matter. It's like, all right, you a Hall of Famer, but this is where we're gonna place you, right? But Eli, nah. He can't sit at them tables. Like I remember hearing Deion Sanders say that. He said, if certain players are gold jackets, then what am I? I need a different type of gold. Like this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Me, Lawrence Taylor, Jerry Rice, we need a different type of gold. Like we shouldn't be wearing the same gold. Like this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Bruce Smith, like all these other top tier guys is like, yeah, you're not on the same level, So actually, I believe that there are putting too many people into the Hall of Fame. It should be players that are untouchable, but only reasons Eli. I agree with that. Players who are untouchable should be in the Hall of Fame and Hall of Fame only. I agree with that. Too many guys is getting on based on criteria, but you got to understand the Hall of Fame is also a business. This is why they do it every year, because those guys, in order to be in the Hall of Fame, there is some fees that go along with the Hall of Fame. Either they pay for those fees or the team pays for those fees. So the Hall of Fame is also a business in itself. A lot of people don't know that. I told the shorty on another live channel that I'll slap an angel from heaven, Grace, her scalp with some Shea Moisturizer product. But at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, shout out to Excel, Exalted. Appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes, hit the 100s. Appreciate you for tapping in. Crazy. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just don't believe he's a Hall of Famer myself. Yeah, so I agree with you on that. I think certain players are untouchable. Certain players you can't tell the book of the NFL without certain players. Everybody shouldn't get in, even if you was successful. That's how I feel about basketball. Even if you are a successful player, everybody don't deserve to get in the Hall of Fame. So, as a fan, we want rings. Forget the Hall of Fame. That's an individual accomplishment. That's a fact. That's a fact. I I agree with everything you're saying regarding that, Patrick. I agree. I agree. We want the chip. We want the chip. But and it's cool to brag on guys who are Hall of Famers. It's cool about that, but it's really an individual award, and everybody shouldn't get in there. Everybody shouldn't get in there. Just because you were successful in your career doesn't mean you was like the guy. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that on that. Uh, that was my Keep the Lie Live for this episode. Again, this has been episode 208. I want to thank y'all for rocking out with me each and every Wednesday, each and every Sunday. I'm on here live, showing major love. If this is your first time tapping in, again, I am Ashley Lovechild. This is the Kenner Brothers Get a Rap podcast, and I appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Hit them likes. Hit the 100s. They are free, people. It helps with the growth of the show, and I appreciate it wholeheartedly. Thank you. Also, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers, and it's not by accident. We're a little over 12,000 subs, so continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. I do pop up throughout the week, and we also have memberships available. Different memberships do get granted different access, so make sure y'all take advantage and tap in. Also, we have merchandise as well available in the links in the bio. So make sure y'all tap in. Promo code you Brothers Pod for the promo code. Get 10% off on all items. And again, thank y'all for the support. Shout out to Tom. If Eli gets into the Hall of Fame, you're going to have to consider putting Jalen Hurts in the Hall of Fame when his career is over. Jalen Hurts' career is still going. Jalen Hurts could end up, winning the passing title and win another Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So there's things that he could still do to really boost his, Hall of Fame, So I get what you're going with that, though. I get what you're going with that. A shout out to Lil Burglar in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Bring those picks on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have them picks for Wednesday. Definitely for my pick 6. My favorite quarterback of all time is Joe Montana. Is your favorite quarterback? Who is your favorite quarterback all time? My favorite quarterback of all time. I'm gonna give y'all 3 of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. I'm gonna give y'all 5. And it switches for me. So my top 5 quarterbacks of all time, as my favorites. Believe it or not, Joe Montana. Number 2, Steve Young. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes, baby, my homeboy. Number 4. I have to go with my rivals with this quarterback. You know what I'm saying? John Elway. And number 5. This guy is magic, y'all. I can't. He's a jerk, but he's magic though. I gotta go with Aaron. You know what I'm saying? Aaron got the arm, bro. Like he comes up as a jerk, but he got the gun though. He got the ratchet. You feel me? So I gotta go with Aaron as my 5th. But I did enjoy watching Michael Vick play. I don't know if you guys remember. Y'all won't remember him. gotta remember Steve McNair. Love Steve McNair game. And just to add another one, Eli Manning, I'm playing. If I'm gonna add another one, I'm gonna say Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly was nice. Jim Kelly was nice. Let me go back up. Dan Marino. Dan Marino was a dog. Dan Marino was throwing like 5,000 yards back in the 80s. Can you imagine when he was doing this league? And receivers can't get touched in this league. If y'all know who Mark Duper is, look him up. He was one of his receivers. He will go crazy in this league. It kills me when people say the older players can't play in this league. Are you crazy? Them dudes was fast. Them dudes was strong. And these dudes played in that era where, what Michael Irvin say, where violence was going on. It was getting sturdy. Mark Duper would have been killing. Him, Art Monk, all those guys. My favorite quarterback at one time. Okay, I think I seen that one. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. He got a place in my heart, bro. He has a place in my heart. I'm a Michigan guy, so you know he has a place in my heart. That's a fact. That's a fact. Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. Period, hands down, on any list. On any list. You said who was my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Tom ain't gonna entertain you. He here to win, baby. Tom ain't here to sling that thing like that. He here to win. You know what I'm saying? Aaron gonna sling that thing, dog. You know what I'm saying? He gonna make it look pretty and everything. Pause. Shout out to KC from San Francisco. That's a fact. The name holds weight. He would get in. Manning name is so famous. Like Cardell. Yeah, Eli will get into the Hall of Fame. He will do that. If you ask me, should he be in the Hall of Fame? I'm going to say no. He was god-awful most of his career. God-awful. A lot of NFL quarterbacks say Marino. Marino was nice, man. Marino, again, my favorite quarterback to watch. Dan Marino wasn't in my top 5 to watch. I would rather watch Joe Montana operate. I would rather watch, if y'all don't know who Steve Young is, that lefty used to run and gun. You know what I'm saying? The original scrambler. You know what I'm saying? Definitely Steve McNair. Come on, man. Steve Ed McNair, man. Rest in peace. That's a fact. Randall Cunningham. Drew Brees. I'm not a fan of Drew Brees like that. I love Warren Moon's game. Love Warren Moon's game. Drew Brees can play, but I'm not a fan of Drew Brees. Fan of Dan Marino, though. That dude was nice. Jim Kelly was super nice to me. Are you talking about the Max brothers, Mark Clayton and Mark? Yes. Duper, Mark Duper, boy, nice. I'll go back to Dan Phelps. He was definitely in my list. I've never seen Dan Phelps play. You know how you see highlights or whatever, but you know he wasn't in my era. But I heard he was nice. Breeze, Brady all day. You got to let Phillip Rivers into the Hall of Fame. If Eli, I agree with that, and I don't necessarily believe that Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer. So, and I believe Phillip Rivers was a better quarterback than Eli. Steve Young is why Breeze was so good. They was different. They wasn't the same type of quarterback. You gotta remember, Steve Young had some height. Breeze was barely like 5'11", 5'10". You know what I'm saying? And Steve Young not only passed from the pocket, but he could run. Breeze wasn't a runner like that. He ain't trying to run nothing. Ever since his years in Purdue. Donovan McNabb. I like Donovan McNabb growing up. He was a good player. I seen him at the draft. I remember the year he got drafted. I went to the draft. I seen him, Achilles Smith, Dante Culpepper, Tim Couch, and of course, everybody wanted to see Ricky Williams. But I was in high school at the time, and one of my friends on my team, his mom worked for the NBA, so we had all this access pass, and That was the time I realized I love the NFL, but I don't need to be a part of everything. That draft process whooped my ass. 15 minutes a team is one of the longest processes in person, and it was boring at 14 years old going to that. I said, I'm never going to another draft ever again. This shit is boring. But yeah, I was there at that draft. I got pictures with Tim Couch and Achilles Smith and some of these guys too when I was 14. And I was playing quarterback too, you know what I'm saying? So getting some pointers. And I seen Donovan McNabb too. Phillip Rivers came a long way before Cousins. Did you ever see when Brady Breeze in the NFC playoffs? Yeah, that's a fact. No, not in the NFC. They was in the same conference. What you talking about? Throwing the ball to the kid to see the Brady towering over Breeze. Maybe in the Super Bowl. You gotta remember the Saints is in NFC. Patriots in the AFC. Literally every NFL coach was to pass Breeze. Well, the beginning of Breeze's career it didn't look good. He looked like he was going to be a bust for real because he had them arm surgeries. Sanders is coming, and when he gets a chance to play, he's going to be good. I believe that too. Prime Marshall Faulk or Prime Barry Sanders. Prime Barry is better, but me personally, I would prefer Marshall Faulk. If you ask me who's on my all-time team as my all-time running backs, my 3 all-time running backs would be in this order. I don't care what y'all say, by the way, too. I gotta go with Orenthal. Y'all know who Orenthal is. I'm going with Orenthal as RB1. My RB2, I'm going with LT. My RB3 is Marshall Faulk. Those are my 3 backs. My backs have to have the ability to pass catch. And Marshall Faulk is unguardable coming out the backfield. And he's great in between the tackles. But those are my 3 running backs. I got to go with Orenthal. For those who know, y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Marshall for me, too. Not Northside Ranger. Shout out to not Northside Ranger. Appreciate that. Hit them likes, hit the 100s, man. Helps with the growth of the show. I'm going to shock y'all by not talking about Marshall for. I was not just a running back. He was all around running back. That's a fact. And Barry was so electric, but I prefer a guy like Marshall Faulk. If I'm gonna get a guy between the tackles, my running backs are definitely gonna be Orenthal. I keep saying Orenthal because if I say the nickname, you know what I'm saying? His name is such it gives such a crazy reaction to people when I say the name. So I'm going with Orenthal. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know who Orenthal is. You know what I mean? But if I'm just saying between the tackles, outside of Orenthal, I like guys like Beast Mode. I like guys like Adrian Peterson. Those are the guys I would choose as my back. I'm not big on Bo Jackson. fam. I'm not big on Bo Jackson. Great athlete. Amazing athlete. I remember being a kid and Bo Jackson, just like Deion Sanders, playing both sports, and he was like a damn cyborg. But he wasn't like he wasn't outstanding for real. He got hurt, and that was that. Like, he was good. He was fast. But if you look at his stats, it didn't blow you away. It didn't blow me away. I remember he was really good in Tecmo Super Bowl. I use Raiders all day in Tecmo Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? Because you run up and down, you know what I'm saying? That's real old school. But he wasn't super impressive to me based on his NFL career. But he had a lot of tools. He was fast. He was more so fast than physical. He wasn't much of a receiver coming out the backfield, in my opinion. But he had a lot of potential, and he's one of the guys. He's if not the what-if guy, the biggest what-if guy. He's in the top 3 conversations, in my opinion, what-if guy if he didn't get hurt. That's one guy I would love to see his career play out. But when he played, You know, he didn't give us moves like that. He didn't give us crazy work, as McCoy would say it. He wasn't a juker. You know, he gets to the hole and he goes. So it wasn't impressive to me. But he's an impressive athlete. I would rather have Terrell Davis on my team than Bo Jackson. And I say that with all due respect, because I don't want to disrespect top tier athletes and legends. You know, that's all due respect. Terrell Davis was a beast in between the tackles. So yeah, I definitely agree. Adrian Peterson, LT, Marshall Faulk. That's a hell of a list right there. That's a hell of a list right there. Are you talking about the Yeah, you know I'm talking. That's Arnthor. You know what I'm saying? The juice. You know what I'm saying? Or OJ. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go with OJ, but I say Arnthor because when I say Arnthor, it throws people off. You know what I'm saying? And that's his government name, by the way, for those who don't know. That's Arnthor. You know what I'm saying? The juice. You know what I'm saying? OJ. You know what I'm saying? The man that did not kill Nicole. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know, Nicole had a whole damn murderer as her groundskeeper. He was the lakeside strangler. He was something like that. He done murdered like 6 or 7 women as the groundskeeper. But OJ done did it, right? Why the brothers always got to do something? You know what I'm saying? Why always got to be us? You know what I'm saying? If the glove didn't fit, then you must have quit. You know what I'm saying? Orenthal, you know what I mean? It just and Orenthal wasn't smart on how he maneuvered that either. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to OJ. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I said OJ Simpson. It's my dog Orenthal. You know what I'm saying? Running through the airport, all that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, TD, Frank Gore, Priest Holmes. You know, Priest Holmes is my guy. Ahmed Green, super underrated. I like Ahmed Green, but he was always a fumbler. I remember Ahmed Green at Nebraska when he was in that Nebraska backfield. Him, Buckholter, and Lawrence Phillips. Great backfield. Ahmed Green was a good player, but he had the tendency to fumble, bro. I don't like guys who fumble. Tiki Barber was a fumbler until he really learned how to cover the ball. Tiki Barber was another good one. But, Ahmad Green, good player, but he fumbled, bro. He fumbled. Fumble. OJZ Simpson. Y'all stupid. Y'all stupid. Man, I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. As always, again, I'm here every Wednesday, every Sunday. Every Wednesday, every Sunday at 10:30 again. If it's your first time tapping in, Ken and Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I don't want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Shout out to the chat for being super engaged, showing a whole bunch of love. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Again, shout out to fam. I'm not gonna say everybody, but I'm gonna say as many people as I can that really was showing love. Shout out to Tom. Shout out to fam in the building. Shout out to Paul. Shout out to the Nerf. Let me do this one because this one is freezing up on me. Shout out to King P for the gifted. Thank you for the gifted, King P. Shout out to them. I'm not gonna say everybody. Vic, Patrick Torres, Maria, Biggs, She Was. Shout out to Aton. Shout out to all of y'all in the chat, man. Y'all was showing major big love. And again, y'all don't understand how much it really helps the show when y'all engage, when y'all hit the like. And it really means a lot to me. I thank y'all for tuning and tapping in and getting to know me and having these conversations. We talk about everything here. Sports, entertainment, social commentary. We have the real conversation. We have a good time, but we also try to get some resolution to all things that we do engage in. Cato, I always thought I had something to do with it, and all those lawyers got me when the great Johnny Cochran came in. Got me saying, if it did it for Buster quit, let's go. What about Jim Brown, Walter Payton? My wife is cheating on me. Jim Brown, Walter Payton, those guys are legends, man. But they're not from my era. So guys who were great, like in eras before us, Gale Sayers and all those type of guys, you have to mention their names. But they wasn't, They wasn't in my era or even generation. Like, but those names should live on and should be ingrained into, football pantheon, NFL pantheon. You know what I mean? Can't tell the story of the league without those guys. All right, y'all. What else we got going on? Before I go, working on some new music, working on a new album, and it is fire so far. And I can't wait for y'all to hear that. I'm also exploring ways on getting y'all the music. I'm not a big fan, even though I have a lot of my past work, Spotify, Apple Music, all the places you'll find music. But I don't like the way that they have artists being beholden to these companies. So I'm gonna find another way to get my new album to y'all when it's finished, done, and released. And it's gonna be very accessible to everyone. Um, I just want to break from the norm because when y'all stream it, these companies don't give us the proper love that we deserve, and we are the creators of the art. Shout out to fam. How old are you? I'm 41. I'm 41. I just turned 41. Proudly, might I add too. And sometimes I get a couple of the younger brothers on here like, yo, you 41? Dang, damn. It's like, yo, you just had a birthday. Like, that's crazy. We supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Like, supposed to get older, supposed to do better, supposed to move this thing forward. But yeah, definitely 41. Yo, Jamal. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that new project when it's done. And y'all know I'm going to give y'all all the information regarding that. Also, my new comic. I'm working on a new comics, I should say. And I told y'all that previously. We're still working on that first issue. And I can't wait to get that first issue to you as well. So be on the lookout for that. Y'all already know the only op we recognize over here is opportunity. And we're going to do it up, man. Again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s on the way out. I will see y'all this Wednesday at 10:30. And if you just want to chop it up and tap in even more, you can tap into my Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. You already know, man. It's love. And I'll see y'all this Wednesday at 10:30. I'm out.